folks, and welcome to Great Chesterford Junction Model Railway. And this time we're looking at my scratch built goods shed. I know some of you have been waiting to see this thing, and I've kept you in suspense, especially Gary in Spain's been waiting. So Gary, we'll show it to you now. And what we'll do, I'll show it to you quickly, and then I'll show you a slideshow of the build, and then we'll look at the goods shed in more depth after the slideshow. So let's have a quick look at the goods shed now. Here it is. It's taken a little while to build. You know, when it's scratch built, you've got to accept that sort of situation. And here it is from the other side. Difficult to get in close to film it properly here. And from the business end. And this is the other end near the station with the office installed as well. So as I said, we'll have a look at the build, and then I'll come back to the goods shed and I'll have a look at it in more detail. Well folks, you've seen how it's gone together now over a period of time. So the fundamental logic with this goods shed was that it should be able to be removed easily for track cleaning basically, because obviously it's going to be difficult to get my hand in the goods shed to clean the rails. So I've achieved that, and I've also managed to achieve a good electrical connection, as you would have seen in the slideshow, with those brass plates in the baseboard and also the brass plates up under the goods shed. So first of all, I'll show you how easy it is to take it off, so we'll do that now. Yeah, so all it is a matter of just picking it up and lifting it off. Now I'll turn the lighting circuit on, and hopefully you'll be able to see the lights come on in the shed when I put it back in place. So we'll just turn that on. So the lighting circuit's on now, so we'll just place the shed back in its position, just about there. I don't know whether you can see that, but the lights are on at the moment. So if we just flick them off, yes, you can see that. Yep, so that's how easy it is. So yeah, we'll just take it off again. Yeah, we'll have a look at it in depth. Okay, you can see that it sits on an angle, and that's because it's designed to sit on top of the platform. So with the goods shed, you've got a platform usually built into them. So in this case, I've gone the other way around, and I've built the platform and then built the shed to sit on top of the platform. It's all flat at the back because it has to butt up to the back seam. And so what we're missing here basically is detail, because you can't see it anyway. What I was more focused on was getting the depth of the wall right. Yeah, and keeping it all nice and flat. So you can see the roof finishes flush with the back edge. It's the same with the office down here. And the chimney, everything's flush, flat, so that you can push it up to the back seam. Yeah, same on the other end. This is the end that faces the cattle dock. So there's just a little door, a little staff doorway there to come out into that area. Now if we turn it over, you can see that it's fully lined. There's lining board in here with rafters going across the trusses. The interior back wall, or wall here for the front wall actually, is all lined, and we've got our doors set up here high enough to clear the rails. The theory is with the doors, the other doors, the sliding doors, if we turn it over again. Now what I've done with these sliding doors here, you might think, well, that's going to slide across and there'll be a gap down here. What I'm suggesting here is that this door goes down into a cavity in the platform and will finish up the same level as this door on the left here. So this door will slide out of a cavity in the platform and go straight across. I haven't actually modelled that because I couldn't be bothered putting a cavity in the platform, but that's what we're saying there. So if it's not right, I don't really care. It sounds good to me. And here you can see my LEDs in the lights here. I've actually put a bit of yellow paint over them. They're white LEDs, and I've put white paint over that. Yellow paint over that to dull them down. So you can get a bit of an idea of the lighting tracks here. It all looks like lighting tracks in industrial buildings and in steam sheds and all that sort of thing. They look very similar to that. So this is a way to get around it by calling that, say that one's positive, for example, and that's the negative feed. And then each one travels down or across to, let's put that down. So there's a wire, or the continuation of the track comes in the form of a wire to the top of the door here, and then there's an electrical wire that goes down behind the door with a resistor, and it connects up to the brass plate on the bottom here. Let's just move that back, and we might zoom in a bit on that actually, just to make it a bit easier to see. Yeah, these brass plates on the bottom here, it's only a thin brass shim. They sit on top of the other ones on the baseboard. So, that's your positive, for example, and the other end is your negative. All that's left to do is some guttering along here and on the office, and probably a sign for the office, a sign that says office on there. Otherwise that's it. Yeah, I mean, I've put end overlays on here, and there's multiple overlays here as well. This wall is 4 layers of card thick, 5 if you count the end wall here, the end wall overlay. But basically it's 4 layers of cereal box card thick, and you think, well, you know, it's pretty flimsy when you start using it, when you've just got one layer. But once you start to build them up into 4 layers, this, once the glue sets, is quite rigid and quite solid. So the way it works is we've got this overlay first, and then we've got the main outer wall, and then behind that the lighting of the windows are glued in, and then there's another layer that you don't see, which is with cutouts similar to this front overlay but smaller, that go around the windows just to pack it out. And then there's the internal wall, so that makes up the 4 layers. It's come up quite well, I think, and it's very strong. But you know, when it comes to something like the roof here, I thought, well, why bother gluing together a few layers of cereal card when I just want one rectangular plain piece, really? So I had some thick card for that, and I've used similar card, not quite as thick, for the roof on the office there. And also with the office, I didn't bother doing all the multiple layers on such a small building, as I had some small pieces of thick card to use on that, so that all worked out really well. You know, I modelled Great Western, but you'll notice, you know, this has got a straight cut doorway. If it was a Great Western shed, it would probably have an arch, but I didn't fancy cutting out one big arch like that, so I went down the easy route and just had a square doorway. And we've got, you know, this lintel here is just a bit of cereal box card that's been coloured up with graphic markers. So that's pretty much it, folks. It's complete to all intents and purposes. It works really well. The lighting circuit works well. The rolling stock fits inside it easily. So that's it. I need to detail it a bit more in the area, actually. I need to put some ballast down around it. I need to put some flooring inside the shed, in between the tracks and all that sort of thing. But yeah, the hard part's done. Well, there you go, folks. That's the little story of the Good Shed at Bamford. And another chapter closes on Great Chesterford Junction. So another thing done, but still more to do. So there's probably a couple of more buildings that need to be made here, and I've got some kits also to be made: a water tower and water crane. Yeah, and a crane for the shed, actually. And then there's people to stick on and all sorts. It'll never be finished. It'll look like it's finished, but it'll never be finished. And that's the way we want it, don't we? Anyway, I'll catch you next time. See ya. Gourmet.